very different compositions, I must say. Even the fact that Smart Omega, they banned out the heroes that they were comfortable with in game number one. We thought that, okay, what do they have up their sleeves? And it could probably work out, but unfortunately it didn't. They were outplayed by the 3 revitalized by MINANA EVOS.
Yeah, and now I'm just hoping to actually see a very different tempo of pace because EVOS have been able to play that long hurdle, so pressure is definitely on for the side of Smart Omega overall. But when it comes down to the draft, it seems like they are going for a lot of the picks that have been picked up. I mean, not EVOS from the past game, which is the Minotaur. The Novara is also understandable, and it's something that, well, couldn't go wrong with such a ban. Meanwhile, not a single team wants to face off against Nolan, as it still seemed to pose a heavy threat for most of these teams.
I still don't see like the standard bans. Well, except for Nolan though. So like the Matilda is open, the Angela is open. I don't know. Since Smart Omega, they do have the first pick. Maybe that's what they are thinking of.
Yeah, that could also be the case where, they could actually go ahead and secure the Matilda from the get-go as well. Now, the past matchup, we see maybe a little bit more of a variety of these long hurdle comps. That's also because like there wasn't exactly just about enough of all these heavy damages coming in from those sort of XP laners, but they are looking at taking the Angela from the get-go. So I guess like Midnight Evil's gotta look for ways to deal with this.
Yeah, earlier we saw Angela Iritel composition that was used by MINANA EVOS, so we have not seen the Smart Omega using it today at least. I would expect that to happen since they are going to get the next 2 picks before we go in for the next phase of the ban. So if they don't do that, then it's very likely that Iritel will be banned. Same formula.
Yeah, this is going to be an early Arlot pickup alongside with the Matilda. So you can see that the pacing has definitely changed for Minana EVOS. They want to hit hard, they want to hit fast, and even if with the hard guard, perhaps with this amount of aggression, they will be able to suffice in order to secure any form of kills that they want. And of course, if you don't pick up that Irrital right now, it's going to be gone.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be gone.
it has to be this combo.
Yeah, so that's like the traditional combo by now, right? It's like if you have A, you gotta have B. That's like the math here. But what comes next is, okay, so you have the 2 traditional combos. Would have been nice to have a box here, but it's banned out by the opponent. I think that was what's running through their mind. So another similar composition would be something tanky, a jungler, and able to like kind of open up fights as well. So if the heavy spin can hit well, can pin down somebody, then it's good enough. And plus, they need to consider that if the target that they need to pin down is Matilda, you gotta stop Matilda from either number 1 flying around, number 2 providing the heal to the team. So that's definitely going to be the mission for Akai.
Yeah, and since there's going to be a Kai, you want something that's really, really slippery. So high tempo is what they are going for, and of course the late game insurance has to be that Brody that Mina EVOS feels a little bit more comfortable playing in this form of a composition where you could still eventually melt down some of all these tanks heading to that late game with Torment Memory part. Heading to the second phase, there is going to be a lot more focus over onto the XP lane on what's currently available. So I guess like when we go through the pool, like you want to have something that is going to be able to cause a little bit more damage in order to layer through the defenses that Smart Omega is offering. So Terizla is something that they don't want to deal with in terms of an AoE area since there's already a Kai available on the side of Smart.
Yeah, but I do expect for the Smart Omega to pick up another bulky frontliner, because Akai might go in for the engagement, and then you need to have like someone to be like the primary, because Akai might be a jungle Akai, very very likely. So you don't want the jungler to be like the first person to really go in unless it's like a winnable situation. So you want to have like that safety net to have another tanky roamer to replace the position. So if I were to look at like Smart Omega's previous games, they have had the Cho before, they've had the Kaja before, not really tanky, but able to start fights. And Kaja is able to like catch the Matilda as well. So it's not too bad of a pick.
Yeah, I always really think about the Faramis, where it could really work very, very well for Smart Omega, but the pick is not up to that advantage because it's down to Mina EVOS' turn, though it may not essentially fit perfectly into what they want, but a Faramis is a Faramis, right? Like, you got the Cult out there. It is very much game-changing. All your efforts that you put in towards your enemy can result to nothing just because of that one singular ultimate. Though, as much as they wanted it, like, they have to go for other options out there. So, without the Novaria, without the Faramis, I guess, like, they can still think about perhaps a Kadita if they want to. They've worked with Lilia in the past as well. So, Minana EVOS, they stick back to the Lilia.
Yeah, and I know that I talked about like, oh, but they already have a roamer in the name of Angela. Well, I was just putting out some options because if we look at Angela, Angela is able to play in the mid lane as well. So it's kind of like a flex there. So if they want to change out, like, okay, we get some other roamers, which is they're hovering around Cho, it's doable as well for Smart Omega.
Yeah, and I think that could easily be the angle where even if you want a rolling Akai, like, yeah, it can be the case, but Cho seems to be a little bit more feasible because you need to find a way to also catch this Matilda. So let's see whether or not if this is going to be a final confirmation. And oh, I think we absolutely forgot about the Kaja because today hasn't been played out for most part other than the very early series. So I think this is a very good notion where they can actually force members of Minana EVOS into a team fight.
I'm going to claim that I did mention about the Kaja. Hashtag done claim. So the fact that the Kaja is available and some might say that, hey, but Angela is the roam. Well, they still pick the Kaja. So now for sure, Kaja will not go into the mid and they're going to put Angela in the mid lane, which is doable. This is the flex pick, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, majority of the Angelas we see are being played as a roamer, but in this case, it could go either way and it's absolutely fine as well. So with the Kaja in here, Kaja might want to try to catch the Matilda because you also want to stop Matilda from healing the rest of the other teammates of Minana EVOS.
That's right, and I guess like for now, like things are looking to be more of a very steady pacing of control for inside of Smart Omega, whereas there is a lot of capabilities where they could set up dives coming out of Minana EVOS as well. So it's very risky because there's always the counter. Like they need to know where exactly the Akai is, as well as the Kaja now also posing a huge threat. I think like every Divine Judgment will definitely result in some heavy returns so long as they do get the right targets.
Yeah, and as long as they have the enough of it burst damage when the Divine Judgment lands its target. So that's going to be one as well. So they need to be in the right position. But let's see if they can actually execute that. Those are theories. Practically, let's see what happens inside of the game. This is going to be the decider match between Smart Omega and Minana EVOS.
Kicking things off, we're not going to be seeing much of an invade going over on either side of the party. But speaking of which, Hani is already on duty just to go ahead to check what's in store over bottom side. It seems like Joan will be accompanied by a little birdie on the side. But over on the mid lane, you can see that there is going to be a little bit of that form of a rotation coming in to give a little bit more of that priority for onto the EXP side. So I guess like the playstyle for these two teams is that they want to ensure to have a smooth cruise in the first 3 minutes of the game, and then we'll see what happens later on in the turtle.
Yeah, if the Matilda is being used by Yums, and we've seen that yesterday, he will be the one jungle invading. But for Hani, it's a little bit more respectful. Yes, he knocked on the door of Smart Omega, but it doesn't really go in. It feels like there's a respect between these two teams, just like how the previous round was. So it was kind of slow pacey. It took a while before both teams really activated each other. it could be the same case now that there's more at stake.
Definitely the case. Whereas we've already got Kaizen hitting level 4. They're looking for something over the bottom side. No chance to actually steal away the crab. And eventually they will have to path towards the top side. The turtle's coming up. Whereas, of course, they need everybody to hit their levels first beforehand in order to ensure a smoother take. So it's MINANA EVOS coming with the immediate measure to start off with the turtle. I don't really see much of a presence coming in from the rest of Smart Omega to contest other than having Camgod here looking for the target. Kaizen will be the party right here. They're going for the dive, and immediately you can see the collateral damage pinning them to the wall with the Hurricane Dance, and it is first blood for Lewis. And they will circle back into the pit, looking for that turtle. I'm not sure if they can do this without a retreat, but it seems like they want to try, and immediately getting suppressed by the Divine Judgment as well. Things are looking rather bleak, but this Arlot will be able to flicker to safety.
Oh, despite the Divine Judgment, looks like they didn't manage to secure the kill. So, yeah, interesting enough. But not JM. Eventually they did, somehow.
Yeah, they still went in for the dive. Great call coming out of Smart Omega. Just like that, they got 2 out of the bag. I feel like they weren't exactly prepared for this. They should have expected exactly that scenario to happen, but what exactly can they do? I mean, they can only burn a couple of flickers and try to get away from any form of a wall, and instead they were retreating back into a wall, which is why it was an easy pin down for them to look for when it comes down to how Sermat has been able to secure these opportunities of an assist.
Yeah, I guess it's just spur of the moment, right? Like, it just happened then and there. You need to make a split-second decision, so you happen to pass by there. The heavy spin happened to be active as well, and yeah, that just happened. So it just happens like really, really fast. Of course, like for us, when we watch it, we can digest it and like, oh, if only that happened, if only that happened. But when for these players as they're playing it, it's like you probably don't have enough time to really decide. So to be fair to them, I guess it's just a situation.
True enough, especially with the involvement of Lewis, when you do have the element available, they will be able to at least get that mini stun off, and that is just about enough to actually set off Akai. Now, that is going to be a dive being negated from the side of MINANA EVOS. So, Smart Omega, we can actually look for an eventual opportunity, but over top end though, what a dive coming out of Lewis, still securing it very well.
Yeah, solo dive there, but now Kaizen has arrived. We're trying to pin down Lewis. Back up behind from land, CY has arrived as well. There's nowhere that he's able to go. But the hard guard comes in. This could buy him some time, but not enough time. Now Ray L is in trouble, but he should be able to get away with the move speed.
Yeah, just about enough move speed to get herself back into safety. Now, what can this Angela do? I mean, they're not even going to be anywhere nearby. The rest of the team is chasing down a Brody. So this is going to be a free turtle over into the hands of MINANA EVOS. Good retake as well as punishment that follows through in order to shut off Lewis. So he won't be just snowballing from here on. Though Lewis has already gotten 3 kills at this moment. But that being said, 5 minutes in the game, we already see just about 4 kills across the board. Where it's still anybody's game for the time being. I want to see a little bit more involvement coming out of Hani. So far, they haven't been able to actually single out any form of target, because that also puts this Matilda in danger if she was to move into an uncharted territory and be caught out by the Kaja, and hence why you can see a little bit more of a safer approach on this Matilda.
Well, I want to see more codes there, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you didn't miss it. If you did, well, maybe you can just rewind it if you're watching on the YouTube especially. But now, Lewis at the bottom lane, 4-on-1. There's nowhere that he's able to go. And there you go. Even if the hard guard lands onto him, well, no, the hard guard's on the other side. What am I talking about? But anyway, so 4-on-1, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward kill for Smart Omega.
Yeah, while they were focusing on that one takedown, there is going to be a pressure upon the top side. They dive onto this Angela. Immediately a killing spree for the Lilia. Now coming from the back, it is going to be a flank of the Kaja to be joining into the ranks. This Hurricane Dance is not going to find anything at all, so that is pretty much it. But good news is the fight's not going to be starting off for the Turtle so soon, so there should be just about enough seconds on the clock to eventually get their ults online once again. So
that's probably going to be okay while you wait for the next Lord or one of the Luminous Lords to really show up. But now we're coming back onto the game, ladies and gentlemen. The moment we arrive back onto the Land of Dawn, the total is up.
Now, with MINANA EVOS having all hands on deck, they're looking to just quickly take this one down. Surmat is not going to get that angle where he will get that Hurricane Dance off, but they are actually targeting the Akai instead. Here comes the Hurricane Dance. No chance for him to survive to steal it away. This will still land in the back of MINANA EVOS. If only the Heart God was channeled a little bit earlier, then maybe the Akai would have a few more seconds on the clock, but it is what it is because it was too fast. Kaizen saw a perfect timing for him before he even channels the Hurricane Dance, so that was great going for MINANA EVOS.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful indeed. And with that, they managed to get that one extra kill. So you can see that there's like this back and forth between the two of them, but you don't see like big invasions, you don't see like big team fights, because number one, starting it is not going to be easy. They kind of know their positions. Number two, it's more of like a team. It's more of like a what do you call that? A pick off com. So if it's a pick off com, then it may just end like, okay, if the fight happens, you get a kill, and then everyone just backs off. So it's kind of like easy that way. So it'll take a while before both teams, either side, can snowball or they find a good opportunity. Maybe just like now.
Speaking of that, we do find another Requiem hit right onto the Kaja. The hunter becomes the hunted, and now they're looking for more. There is just very little room to escape. The Heart God will just buy a little bit more time, but not enough. Land CY is unstoppable. And just look at this aggressive side of MINANA EVOS. Smart Omega could not handle the heat at all.
Oh, this is now MINANA EVOS. But it's again pick-offs, okay? No big moves just yet. But if this continues, obviously it can snowball. Now, what the teams would want to achieve right now is to try to get map control. And with that, it's trying to take down the turrets. The top turret is taken down. They even up the amount of turrets inside the game right now. Or maybe not. Looks like MINANA EVOS, they have the turret advantage, it seems, against Smart Omega. So they have better entry. But if only they can take down the mid turret, the first one is good enough.
Yeah, and you're already looking at a 5-0 Lilia. Like, she can single-handedly burst down whichever target she desires, right? So it is very difficult, and you got the black shoes. Like, it's really down to the pinpoint pickoffs, and here comes the Hurricane Dance, pushing them to multiple directions, but it's not going to be enough. Doming will find that Urtel, so that is going to be the backline picked off. What an angle as they're still looking for the dive.
Oh, Luis?
This is going to be pretty difficult, but they are reconsidering pulling back with the black shoes as the Lord comes up online, and with a pull for the Divine Judgment, they find one, but that isn't the target that they desire once again.
Wow, they
just skirted off.
They're just buying time right now. Look at the Lord, it's been taken down. And MINANA EVOS, Kaizen would say thank you very much, teammates. They bought enough time, didn't overextend, but now, speaking about overextension, looks like it's going to be a 4v1. Luis, they're all alone. Doming will be happy to get a kill.
The front door's checked, the back door's checked as well. No flanks coming in for the Paquito. Like, things are just getting harder as each second passes by for Smart Omega. Now with the Lord as well, I'm not so sure if they could actually hold on to even the second tier turret, because this dive is imminent. This is a Lilia ready to take them on. Surmat will have to give way. They need those early immortalities in order to have a little bit more chances. Just having Crime God to just slide into safety with one tick of health left, but they will defend with their lives if they need to get some of all these empowered minions over on the bottom side.
Oh, Minana EVOS now snowballing. Are they going to break the hearts of Smart Omega? Is this going to be a reverse sweep for them? Right now, the Lord is going to put pressure onto the top lane. They're waiting for the Lord to arrive onto the doorstep of Smart Omega. And that is where they will execute their plans inside of the base of Smart Omega.
You know, EVOS knocking onto the doorstep yet again. Sir man goes envy for a little moment, but can't really find that opening pick with Lord JM that's basically guarding the corners, and now onto the mid side. They do have just about enough minion waves, but the clear is going to be fast coming out of Smart Omega. It's definitely going to take a while. Maybe another Lord will do the trick, so they don't really have to put themselves at risk, because the moment that they dive, you expect that Akai to get a couple of catches. Demon Hunter saw it now, completed for that Brody.
Disciplined gameplay by Minana EVOS, not overextending. Fall back, clear off the jungle, prepare for the next Lord while they secure the map. Now they're just injecting fear into Smart Omega. Smart Omega, we can see they're not able to come out at all. But Minana EVOS, they're going to try with this way. They're going to try to hack down the turret. But the Smart Omega, they're trying to counter. They go in. Hani is in trouble. Hani falls back. He's still alive as of now. The turret is going to fall, but looks like the one that's going to fall first is going to be mad. The jungler is down. At this moment, Hard Gun will be used by Real. Trying to secure Jome. Jome is alive, but Jome can't do anything much. He does not have the damage to counter upon his opponent at this moment to jump in onto JM. JM survives, but can't say the same for Lewis as he goes down. This is the opportunity for Minana EVOS to end the game. Now they are inside of the crystal, right in front of the crystal is theirs. Minana EVOS didn't hit the Lord. All they need is a good pickoff, and they will book their tickets onto the following round.
Minana EVOS putting a crushing blow towards Smart Omega, knocking down the team into the lower bracket, and Minana EVOS will advance in Group B and will be seeing a chance in the playoffs as they secure that spot. There's only one more slot remaining right now. We got one representative from Malaysia already, and this time it's Minana EVOS that will fly the Filipino flag. So now, back to the question. The final remaining team to secure the slot, they have to really recuperate from this, because there's still one more game for Smart Omega to play out. And you see, their idea is to drag this game out, but they're leaving nothing to chance. And I love the fact that Minana EVOS identified that the clear problem right now is the Kai. So why don't we just target the Kai, target the Kaja, and then it is going to be a clear passage to go for the back line. And this is what they did majority of the fight.
Yeah, it is definitely down. Okay, it is down to either Yudo Alliance, Yudo Red Giants. Man, just too used to it sometimes. I think I was infected by Contra. But anyway, Yudo Red Giants now, and also between them and also Smart Omega for the final ticket onto the next round. It's going to be hard because, yeah, I mean, these are some of the best teams around, right? So that one ticket is going to break hearts. But if we were to look like the scale of games between the two, very different kind of play style. That's number one. Number two, I would say that Smart Omega has more variety in terms of the way they play. So it gives like Yudo Red Giants like something to think of. Like if they come up with this, they're letting go of this sort of bans. Like what are they going to come up with? But now looking at the items here, Honey, Flask of the Oasis, standard items. I didn't really notice whether a Revitalize was used earlier on, but I don't think it's like the same strat as before.
Yeah, it's totally different from what it seems to be, where I think like there's a few core things to take away from this matchup for Smart Omega, right? Like they have a decent amount of front line, and the damage numbers are mainly coming out from Lewis as well as Jome. So when you are a Paquito and you're looking for that opportunity, if there's a Guinevere in front of you, generally you don't want to take that engagement, but certain times you might actually want to go in for the frontliner first to set things up for the Akai, which is what happened in that first blood for Smart Omega, and after that, we don't really see too much of it as the rest of these members of the MINANA EVOS side have scaled off. You start to worry about the Arlott. You start to worry about Brody, as well as the heavy burst coming